Hello, good morning, happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining me for another Saints and Angels Oracle deck reading for our week to come. Today is November 22nd, 2024, and we are at our fourth Friday for November. November is such a glorious month, so long. I didn't really think of till now or realize maybe perhaps why we've received two cards for the theme at the start of the month, because it's such a long month. Simplicity, right? In divination there. Dare I take it just to the very surface level and say that I missed the quite obvious message there with the cards, but that's all right. As to mention, if you are new, welcome. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I do these readings every Friday, and we do have a theme every month that we get that's sort of an umbrella or like an arch over an arcing theme maybe over the whole month, that every week we get a card from the Saints and Angels deck that speaks to what kind of unfolding we can see within that scope, what kind of work we could sort of pivot towards doing, or definition we can find within the themes and in our lives, and individually and collectively. So, sorry, just kind of realized my hair's a little crazy, so I didn't fix it this morning, but whatever. The themes for this month are the Nine of Swords and Judgment. So in itself, right there is, if you're familiar with the tarot traditional, you can see what perfect fit for, if you know, this time of year, especially in the United States where you have elections. We had elections, you know, but everything that we've been going through anyways, collectively, globally, country by country, and even kind of state, city, town, community by collective that you choose to look at, each type of whatever kind of collective you want to call and look at, each one has been going through these judgment calls, these kind of reflections over what's been going on. It's almost been 5 years now of this sort of nonsensical, chaotic mayhem of just like all bars go, full pedal to the metal kind of thing happening in all directions, in so many directions, inappropriate in extremes, and no matter where you look at it. And now it's kind of coming to, okay, well, wow, enough is enough. So many people are like, all right, we need to really stomp on the brake here. Coming up with the, you know, anyways, I don't want to get too into large picture things. I'd love to get down to business as to what we're here for. My Palo Santo is almost run out, so I see that as a good time to sort of jump into what we're here for, right? To draw down into the present moment and become good listeners and gracious audience to receive these messages through the cards that are really open-ended. They really are meant to be interpreted and taken uniquely and individually, and each time anew, right? Each meaning to the card, although a card has a meaning, and I will read from the book, its interpretation. Different words, different sentences, different visualizations or thoughts or ideas might pop up in the reading of the card each time anew, different than the last. And that depends on your personal walk up to the moment and my personal walk up to my moment. That's what makes everything so beautiful. It's ever changing, and yet it is sort of the same. And we can always find newness and repetition in organic ways, in creative, intuitive ways that are driven, you know, like I said, from this sort of divinely given creative intuition, spark of life that we each have that is unique to each one of us. It's you behind your eyes looking out, you know, the world that you've created for yourself. So looking keeping that in mind, what we come here for the videos for and to listen to is tap into that. So let's take the words off the page and put our money where our mouth is, right? And get down to the practice. I'm going to be leading us into the sort of grounding session of listening for a minute to help aid us in really exercise of receivership, openness, which can be really difficult for a lot of us, especially through everything we've been through, right? So sitting down to take time to do the physical practice of it, to sit in stillness and to sort of detach from the external world for a little while is super helpful, and I feel crucial before we read cards or speak on divination or receive messages for our self, soul, our mind, body, and spirit, for our higher self, or from spirit, from God source, all of these different connections, be it spirit, ancestral, or something else, it's all together. That's what make it your own, right? Let's get down to business, I guess, is the point. I'm going to close my eyes and walk us through. You're welcome to just relax your gaze if closing your eyes isn't your thing, or if you're doing something else, that's okay too. Point being, be more conscientious in what you are doing at the moment. If it's driving or, taking care of business in some other kind of way, try to focus on your sensations and focus on your present moment more as you listen to the words and let them permeate in, and they'll soak in for later and help to create a more calming sense of reverence and community and gratitude and admiration before we hear our message for this week. So enough said, let's quiet down, close my eyes. You're welcome to as well. And let's connect with our breath for a moment. The anchor, the go-to easiest practice, that low-hanging fruit that every picker can grab. The exercise even a child can do. Breathing with conscious awareness. Breathing your breath into your moment, into your body. Truly, it's through your body, in and out. It's a passing on and in. Find the motion, the transactions and exchanges that feel right to you, that are noticed first, that you just happen to feel most obviously in the breath. Let the breath move and guide your body, your position. Maybe you notice you are hunched or gripping in a certain place. Tension residing somewhere. Breathe into it and release it away Maybe it's stagnant energy or grumpiness. Maybe it's energetic tension, agitation. Breathe flexibility and life into yourself. Remember your fluidity, your grace. Perhaps it's spiritual, exhaustion, heaviness, cloudiness. Breathe. Feel relief on the exhale. Let that gaseous, steamy release of air guide your spirit, your soul and mind, how to be free and light again. Breathe in whatever it is you need from the moment, from the air, from the space around you. Breathe up nutrients from Mother Earth and breathe down nutrients from beautiful, stellar Father. Celestial guidance and earthly guidance, circling, intermingling, holding those polar opposites which you sit at that vortex between. They are two circles, yes. They hold sacred boundaries of wholeness to be had like the sun and moon, points below and above you, distant and singular, something all their own, and yet they have great influence. They hold pivotal points of reference and reverence for us. They hold energetic space to create the center point that we are, the in-between. Circle all of our own, the whole system all yourself. And yet you are that pivotal portal between those two worlds, conscious life. You make the figure 8 center point between those two looping circles. So feel that interlocking, intermingling, 0 point of connection, the touching and intermingling, twisting, the turning, the flipping of the lens, the energy of the 0 center point, the middle, aliveness, the eternal now, ever-present, present moment, aliveness of life, the tingling sensation, the burning of the flame, the great reminder of life to be alive, the breath, the movement, the isness, the space in between. Take a moment to breathe and give thanks for this great space and knowing of it, the sharing of it. For it's much more than just a visualization, it's much more than a physical place and space. It's all the above and more for each one of us, and then for each of us to share together, to create uniqueness together in co-creation in shared external space. Take a moment to bring your hands together in prayer at your chest, just to feel them more firmly, maybe in your lap, on your body somewhere. Breathe and feel how the breath moves. Never staying in one place. Always new. Let it guide you. Let it speak to you. Listen to it. Understand that it tells a story brought together from the journey within the universe within you. Each exhale has messages sent outwards. Just as each inhale draws messages inwards. Respect and honor both. As I thank you already for doing this great practice, for helping, assisting me and others as we participate in this great practice. Teach learning moments that we give over our time, space, attention, intention to doing the work. I thank you for joining me. As always, these Fridays, thank myself for the offering, the commitment, the practice, and I thank great other spirit and source, space, holding and offering their messages through this time and place, this routine here every Friday. So as we prepare to open our eyes, I'm going to ring my bowl. And I'll take out my deck here. And we will thank our beautiful saints and angels, ascended masters, our ancestors, all those in spirit who witness and observe our wonderful journey here through us and with us. We thank you for your presence. God, Source, Mother Earth, fairies, elementals, all those beings of higher densities and dimensions with benevolence in your hearts and beings. We thank you for your ever-present moments. We honor you for your energies and your audience as we prepare ourselves an audience to receive a message. We ask you to please honor us with a card here on November 22nd, 2024. Such beautiful, wonderful numbers to align in a beautiful gateway to hear. We thank you and ask for advice, support, or guidance. in this week to come here, individually and collectively, under our wonderful themes, the Nine of Swords and Judgment. We thank you, thank you, thank you. Shuffle up my deck here for a few. Take a few moments. My hands are a bit sticky. Put them down and shuffle my old favorite way for a moment. Whoops. Lots of energy. I'm dying to speak on numerology, except the video's already a bit long. But of course, you know, 11's, that's in South, the gateway of 11 this month, and now it's 22. The ancestors standing by as we guide our way through. It's pivotal times. Thank you. We love to hear what you, have to say. Popping right out. Oh, repetition of move with our guardian angel. Perhaps, wait a minute. Move might have been my own personal message. That's a repetition of my own personal guidance right there. Oh, when's the last time we've had a move here? Sorry, I'm just looking at some of my notes here. My guidance says, you know, because it's been my own personal repetition. So thank you for bearing with me while I look through that. And I'm going to read move here on page 57. Nice number to have as a reminder for a card for move. I will say with the guardian angels as well, 57, 5, and 7 we have coming together as 12. You know, and reducing into 3, which is the childlike creative essence, of course, you know, wonderful to tap into that and all types of movement, especially as we get older, right? We kind of can forget what it feels like to move in that childlike essence. It can be so helpful to tap into that as let go of the sort of adult constraints and restraints that we put upon ourselves. But anyways, let's read the message here. This message is about moving. Most likely it means you'll soon be moving to a new home. You've been considering the possibility, and this is validation of that idea. The angels will help you to locate a wonderful new home and assist with the details of leaving your present location. Give any worries about this issue to heaven, and have faith that the finances, family concerns, and other issues will be taken care of. This is also a message about moving your body more. The angels ask about you to create movement in your life through physical motion. You can do this by swaying or dancing to music, exercising, hiking outdoors, playing with your children, and so on. Oops. All this movement helps you make a fresh start. It ushers in wonderful new people, experiences, and opportunities. So give any worries that you may have about making changes to God and your guardian angels. I love that. And I also love, just as a reminder, the guardian angel card, right, gives us this sort of nudge or hug or sort of helping hand on the shoulder, a sort of supportive and nurturing motion from spirit and from source to let us know that we have the strength within us to do the work this week. We have within us all of the tools and all of the necessary muscle to do any of the work that we're guided to do within Move here. So don't allow yourself to fall into victims. Don't look into external confirmation to sort of give you that thing, oh, I'll do this exercise if this person will do it with me, or I will, if I get this certain sign from external about the move that I want to make, then I'll know it's real. Or if this certain landlord gives this certain thing, then I know confirmation. These sort of messages are really asking us to hone and tone our own inner compass, or our truth meter, our sense of connection to Source and God, and our own guardian angel, and our own higher self, and to really listen to those inner points of intuition, those gut notions, and to go with those, to test on those, and to feel out those, to use those as strengthening moments for the week to come, and in these sort of movement ways that we might be feeling called towards. So thank you so much for joining me here for this morning, hearing the messages. And yeah, we'll have our last Final Friday card next week. So happy to have, let me highlight too, and I'll say, just here for the U.S., even though Thanksgiving and the gathering together, the season that it is, many people are gathering together in different ways, visiting with family at this time of year, sharing with abundance, different reasons. But Thanksgiving in itself is a call for moving and moving positions, places and spaces, moving in position in the real world, right? Many of us will be traveling or having others over, perhaps. Finding the positivity in momentum and in the motions. It's really stagnancy, laziness, lethargy, depression, these sort of hard to get going kind of ruts that we can get stuck in. They are really caused by a sense of piling upness, or a sense of having these sort of multiple things to do and indecision between them, or a lack of care, apathy between them, or maybe one of them really stinks and we don't want to do them at all, kind of things that get us into this hibernation mode. The best thing to do is a small thing that's good for you, that feels good, that gets you unlocked a little, that calls in a bit of motion. And it might even be something that's kind of surface level, simplistic, superficial for yourself, putting on a good song that you like to dance to, or stretching out a bit on the floor if you like to do that for a little while, or taking a walk for yourself, or having, a good shower, or bath, or spa, or any sort of comfort kind of thing that calls in motion, though, and using that as, like I said, an unlocking to bring in a little bit of motion, to give yourself a little bit of extra care, pay it forward, sort of, that gets you moving, that you can then step into another sort of thing that you have to do, that bring movement towards, that felt a little bit harder to do at first, but now you've sort of, done this little thing that's created positive movement for yourself, or you've got yourself going, sort of like getting going on a chilly morning for me. Once I get going with yoga, it can be a little bit hard to get going at first, because I feel a bit stiff and I feel a bit like, everything can kind of be a little, get going in the morning, especially when it's dark this time of year, right? But once I get the juices flowing and I get warmed up physically, literally, it's easier for me to get the rest of my day going. That in itself is a real working. We can use that as sort of a parallel metaphor, working in other ways to get other sorts of tasks done going, whether they are physical or not. So, I'm going to leave it there with that sort of last little bit of advice here, and that sort of, personal parable. Thanks for listening. Happy Friday. I hope you have a beautiful weekend here, and I hope you'll join me next week for our Final Friday reading. Talk to you next time.